The morning cycle aboard the Zenthari Cultural Exchange Station began with its usual soft chimes, tones designed to wake most species gently without activating their fight-or-flight reflexes. Most species, except humans. Ava Reed, junior xenocultural liaison and unofficial station babysitter, slept right through the gentle melody without even twitching. It wasn't until the second set of chimes, specifically added by the station's engineers after 23 failed attempts to wake a human politely, that she finally groaned awake. Her quarters were small, standard, and more cluttered than regulation allowed, but today she had an audience. 3 Velcran predator cubs, each the size of a large dog, with sleek obsidian fur and serrated ear crests, sat in a perfect row on the floor, staring at her with glowing amber eyes. Their tails swished, synced like eager metronomes. Ava blinked. Hi?" The biggest cub, Shrix, chittered excitedly. "She lives! We observed your sleeping phase for 1 whole rotation. You did not die. This is good." "Comforting," Ava muttered. "Glad to know I met expectations." The cubs had been assigned to her as part of the Human Behavioral Observation module, mostly because humans were resilient enough to survive accidental cub pounces, bites, or investigative maulings, which Velcran adults insisted were part of normal learning. Ava stretched, stumbled to the kitchenette, and grabbed a loaf of bread. The cubs leaned forward. Predators, silent, focused, on bread. Ava smirked. "You guys want to see something amazing?" The cubs nodded so hard their ear crests flapped. She dropped 2 slices into the toaster. The moment she pressed down, the cubs gasped, all 3, in perfect unison. Srix whispered, "She places prey in the radiant chamber," Jakari added, "and then waits, without fear." Ava tried not to laugh. "It's toast, not prey." But to the cubs, the toaster was a holy artifact. They watched with reverence, unmoving except for the slow sway of their tails. The toast popped. The cubs screamed. Srix leapt behind a chair. Vec scrambled under the table. Jakari attempted to leap onto Ava's shoulders but only succeeded in wrapping around her waist like an overexcited furry belt. Ava held up the toast. "Relax. It's supposed to do that." They sniffed the air, their pupils dilated. "It smells warm and crunchy and dangerous." Ava took a bite. The cubs stared at her as if she had just consumed a sun. Word of the human ritual of controlled combustion spread across the station by midday. Velcran adults tried to pretend they weren't impressed, but their ear crests betrayed them. The thought of a species that willingly placed food into a tiny firebox and then waited for it to explode was, frankly, awe-inspiring. Which is why, several hours later, the cubs attempted to replicate the miracle. Ava was in her office when the first alarm blared. "Hazard alert, unauthorized thermal activity detected." She sighed. "Oh no." The second alarm followed. "Warning, combustible organic matter obstructing radiation conduit." She stood. "Oh no." The third alarm was unmistakably worse. "Emergency notice, living organism attempting to retrieve combustible organic matter with teeth." Ava sprinted. She arrived at the communal kitchen just in time to see 3 cubs circling her toaster, with the seriousness of surgeons about to perform forbidden magic. Srix barked triumphantly. "We have prepared offering meat for the radiant chamber." Ava froze, because on the counter, smeared across several plates, was raw meat. Velcran meat. Very raw. Jakari waved a talon over the toaster like a priest blessing an altar. "We seek to recreate the sacred crunch." Ava paled. No, 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 guys, absolutely not. This is not how—" Vec, the smallest cub, proudly dropped a dripping chunk of meat into the toaster slot. The alarms screamed. The toaster screamed. Ava screamed. The cubs looked offended. Why is the radiant chamber rejecting our offering? Ava lunged forward, yanked the plug, grabbed the toaster, and shook out the meat like someone trying to exorcise demons through sheer panic. Strix sniffed the charred goo smeared across the coils. Is this the sacred sacrifice? Ava groaned. This is why humans don't toast meat. The cubs looked devastated. Jakari's tail drooped. We wished only to honor your ritual. Strix's voice was nearly a whimper. We sought the crunch. Ava knelt, softening. Hey, you didn't do anything wrong, you just tried something very stupid in a very adorable way. They perked up slightly. She sighed. Okay, fine. You want to see how humans cook meat? The cubs froze. Yes. Desperately. Teach us the secrets. Ava cracked her knuckles. All right, lesson 1. We don't toast it. The kitchen filled with sizzling, savory scents as she pulled out a pan, heated it properly, and seasoned a small portion of safe, lab-grown protein. The cubs vibrated with reverence. Strix whispered, The radiant chamber was a false god. Jakari added, But this is true power. When Ava plated the cooked meat, the cubs tasted it with trembling awe. Vec nearly fainted. The crunch is real, Ava laughed. That's called searing. Strix swallowed another piece whole. Human female Ava. We, the cubs of Clan Velcran, vow to never again place raw meat inside the forbidden chamber. Good, Ava said, relieved. Please don't. And also, Jakari declared solemnly, we claim you as our cooking mentor and lifelong ritual guide. Ava blinked. Wait, you what? The cubs bowed. It is done. Oh no, Ava whispered. Oh yes, the cubs purred. By the next day, half the station had heard the story. The Velcran High Matriarch summoned Ava, mostly to thank her for preventing 3 cub mortalities and an electrical fire. She sniffed the air around Ava approvingly. You smell of cooked meat and toasted grains. Truly humans walk the path of both prey and predator. Ava wanted to argue but couldn't. The matriarch leaned in, lowering her serrated crest. My cubs tell me you are now their ritual flamekeeper. I trust this is not burdensome? Ava forced a smile. It's manageable. The matriarch nodded. Excellent. Then tomorrow you will teach the cubs the pancake ritual. They require spiritual guidance. Ava's smile cracked. Spiritual? They believe pancakes are a form of edible enlightenment. Ava's soul left her body. Back in her quarters, the cubs flopped around her feet, full bellies and warm fur making them lethargic. Strix looked up at her with sleepy admiration. Human Ava, your kind harnesses heat with mastery. You transform the world with fire, yet do not fear it. Jakari added, We are honored to learn your dangerous ways. Vec purred, curling against her boots. You make the best crunch. Ava sighed, patting their soft heads. Well, humans have been playing with fire a long time. The cubs nuzzled her. And now, Strix murmured, drifting to sleep, you teach us. Ava smiled softly. Maybe, she thought, humans really were good at this whole interspecies diplomacy thing. Or maybe they were just really good at cooking. Either way, the predator cubs slept soundly around her, dreaming no doubt of sacred pancakes and the legendary power of toast. And Ava? She was already planning tomorrow's lesson, because apparently, humanity's greatest contribution to the galaxy was breakfast.